This is a program that has been run by the RCCG Key of David now for several years. But this year we're doing it for the first time using digital channels. This is our first Zoom webinar since we started. Just very quickly, RCCG Key of David is a parish of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. And the program that we've been running is an empowerment program that is designed specifically to empower the members of the community to find their entrepreneurial genius, to find their own way of succeeding and excelling in their chosen areas of endeavor in life. This year, this is our first session in 2020, and the topic of our webinar today is focused around how to make money using social media. And we have probably the most amazing panel of speakers that you can imagine. I'm excited to hear them speak, and I know at the end of today we would have taken quite a bit from their experiences that they will share with us. Each one of our speakers has built a successful business in their own area of endeavor, and today we'll be hoping that they will share some of that experience and their insights with us as well. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our speakers. First of all, I would like to introduce Stephanie Obi. Stephanie is the founder of Train Quarters. It's a platform which makes it easy for entrepreneurs to create and sell their online courses, especially if they are not techies. She's also an online course launch strategist who helps female entrepreneurs to create and sell their online courses. Her clients have been able to roll out their own premium online courses, 10 times their course sales, and grow a global audience for their expertise. She is the author of the Amazon best-selling book, Knowledge is the New Gold, and has been featured in the Guardian newspaper, the Punch newspapers, as well as on Channels TV and Arise TV. Stephanie has spoken at conferences across Africa, including Wendy's, the largest women conference in Africa. Stephanie lives in Lagos and is a budding comedian. I didn't know that about you, Stephanie. Welcome, welcome, and thank you for joining us this morning, or this afternoon, rather.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, welcome. We will be hearing from Stephanie in a bit, but let me go ahead and introduce the other speakers as well. Second is Zuwaira Ikaro. Zuwaira is an exceptional lady, and I think by the time you see her profile, you will agree with me. Zuwaira is founder of a leading Africa baby skincare brand, Amal Botanicals, natural baby skin solutions, that has helped over 20,000 families ease the journey of motherhood, helping ease skincare inflammation like eczema, cradle crab, diaper rash, dry skin, and other skin inflammation in children. She's an experienced founder with a demonstrated history of accounting, audit, taxation. She's skilled in aromatherapy, cosmetic science and formulation, decision-making, leadership, childcare, and financial analysis. She has strong business development, is a strong business development professional and graduated from the London Business School. She's also the mother of a set of triplets, 2 adorable toddler boys and a girl. Welcome, Zuwaira. You're very welcome to our session today, and we're very happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay. And last on our list of speakers for this morning, and by no means the least, is Shade Sailors. Shade is a marketing coach and efficiency advocate. She's obsessed with helping entrepreneurs achieve marketing success efficiently and strategically. She doesn't believe marketing is just about making money, but rather it's about making authentic connections with your ideal customer, understanding their needs, and creating your offer accordingly. For the past 8 years, she has worked or consulted with various companies. She now coaches and consults with small business owners so that they can be successful online. She has an MBA in luxury brand management from the Paris School of Business, and a master's in international marketing, and a BSc in mass communications. She likes watching Korean TV, Korean TV shows. She likes being at church and singing, or out looking for new ways to spend money on food. Shadi, you're very welcome, and I love your passions.
nice to meet you all. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So there's something that all our speakers today have in common, and it is that they have built their own enterprises from scratch. So they are real life entrepreneurs that you have the opportunity to interact with today. And a large part of their success has been built around what most of us use only for socializing, which is social media. Many of us use social media to engage with friends, to discuss topical issues or non-topical issues, as the case may be. But we need to, and we are going to in today's session, learn how to use social media for more than just socializing, right? And to deal with that today, we have probably the most qualified people who can help us walk through that journey. They will be sharing with us their own stories, their own experiences, and a few insights and tips to help us understand how we can do more than socialize using social media. And once again, I want to thank everyone for participating today, and I want to thank especially our speakers for being here to share with us. And I think that's probably enough from me in terms of introduction. I would like at this point to start the session, and I will do that by inviting Stephanie to give us a quick presentation or talk from her perspective. Stephanie, can I hand over to you, please?
Yes, you can. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Please, I would like this to be as interactive as possible. So if you're listening, please say hi, introduce yourself, let us know where you're watching from in the chat section. Okay, introduce yourself. I want to see you in the chat section. All right. So David says good afternoon. Fantastic. David is here. I'm so excited to see everyone here, and I know you may not know a lot about me, so I'm going to start by introducing myself while I'm waiting for you to introduce yourself. All right. So Tom, hi, welcome, Tom. So please introduce yourself so that we can make this very interactive in the little amount of time I have to spend with you. Yes. So just in case you haven't met me before, you don't know who I am, my name is Stephanie, and I make money online. Like, I've done this business for about, I've done it for about, I think this is my seventh year.
Amazing.
And thank you. And I kind of stumbled into it. So it's not as if I knew, like I had this grand vision. I kind of stumbled into it because I was, in fact, let me even just tell you how it started. I used to be an accessories designer. So I used to make things like earrings, bangles, necklaces, you know, I used to make things with Ankara, so stuff like this. That's what I used to do before. And at the time, I just felt like teaching other people how to make these accessories. You know, I was like, I've run a business. I've been doing this for some time, and I would like to show other people how to do it. And that's how I decided to organize a small workshop in my house. You know, I organized this workshop. I was very excited. I printed flyers. I shared the flyers everywhere, hoping that on that great day, a lot of people are going to come. You know, I did it by faith. On that day, nobody came. And I was so embarrassed. You know, when you've tried to do something and then you fail. In fact, I remember that I went to my room and I cried. I put the blanket over my head and I was crying because I felt so embarrassed. But after I finished crying, I said, okay, there has to be a way. Where can I find the people who need to learn this thing? And at the time, there was Facebook and Twitter, but I used to think that Facebook and Twitter was a fad. And after a while, it will fade off. You know how things just come up and they are raining. After a while, they go. So I thought that social media was one of those things that it will just come and it will go. But after this, my failure, I started to really think that, are you sure you don't want to go and try this social media thing? So I went on social media and I now started trying to market on social media. And the most amazing thing happened to me. People started finding me online and they started attending my training workshops. So the ones in Lagos will come for my workshop. Then the ones outside Lagos will say, oh, Stephanie, I don't live in Lagos. Can you come to my city? Can you travel to Uyo? Can you travel to Yola? Can you travel to where? I started seeing people from all over Nigeria asking me if I could travel because, they couldn't come here. Or if they want to come here, they'll think about how the transportation, the accommodation and all of that. And that gave me an idea. I said, what if I create an online course? So like an online training program. Instead of them to come to Lagos, I can do a training program that they can all watch from everywhere. It was an experiment, 2013. I did not know if it would work. That time, if you want to watch video on your phone, you have to switch your phone from Edge to 3G. I don't know if you can remember, it was a long time. Let's just see if it will work. To my amazement, people paid for my training. Then they bought data and started watching the data. I almost collapsed. I couldn't believe it. Like, how is it possible that somebody doesn't know you, will pay for your training online, and then wait for you to deliver the training? But it opened my eyes to the possibilities, because just the way the internet has come and social media has come, there are many more opportunities now. And that's how I really went into this online course world. And it's almost like when I discovered this thing, I started screaming, hey, everybody, knowledge is in you, God. You have not yet seen it. It is happening. It's real. Like, you can monetize your knowledge online. And I've been saying this thing for the past 7 years, and it looks like because of COVID, people have really woke up to it to say, oh my goodness, I know something that I could be monetizing online, I can be selling online. So today, just in case you haven't heard, I'm here to tell you again that knowledge is the new gold. I wrote an entire book on it and how you can create a business from monetizing your knowledge and teaching people all over the world. But for the sake of this session, I'm going to give you 5 steps that you need to take if you're deciding to start a business online from monetizing your knowledge. The first thing you need to think about is, what do I know? What do I know? What do I know? So what do you know? If you're in the chat section, just quickly write something like, what do you actually know? So like I shared with you, I started my first business teaching people how to make accessories. This is what I knew. I knew how to do this. So if it's something I have been doing for years, and if you wake me up from sleep like this and say, Stephanie, come and teach me how to make this thing, I could do it. And in fact, I was already having live workshops in my current location in Lagos. But when I now decided to do it online, I could now reach a bigger audience. You see? So you have to first of all ask yourself, what do you know? So in the chat section, if you can ask yourself, you can write it down. What do I know? I know how to do this. Now, what do you know? It can be, here are some questions to help you to brainstorm. You can think about what questions people always ask you. They always say, how do you do this thing? How do you do that? How do you do this? How do you do that? All those questions they're asking you. That thing can be your goal. So if there's something that people are always asking you all the time, take note of it. If you have experienced if something painful has happened when you overcame it. So let's say maybe you've been trying to get a job and you finally now got a job. That's an idea. You can talk about how you actually now got the job after trying many times. If you were failing one exam before and you finally passed the exam, that process of what you did to pass the exam, that's something that you can teach. If maybe you were trying to lose weight before and finally, and it was a struggle, you were always eating, you could not exercise, you finally found a way to do it, that process that you went through to now have results, that's something that you can teach. If you have achieved an exciting goal, let's say you wrote a book, or you run a marathon, or you organize an event, a conference, a summit, anything you have done that is an exciting goal, people were congratulating you. Well done, well done, well done. That thing you can teach. all right? If it's a tool you know how to use, so let's say that you sat down and you were trying to learn a particular tool, and then you were trying to figure out how to learn this tool. You finally learned how to use it and you're now very good at it. That skill that you have is a topic that you can teach. If there's something that you realize that you're always intrigued by it, you're spending so much time developing yourself on it. So to the average person, you are good at it because you have been spending 10,000 hours behind the scenes developing yourself on that topic. If you have something like that, that's something you can teach. Okay? If there's a particular skill that you learned, like maybe it was a hobby at first, but you just started learning the thing, like maybe playing piano, playing the guitar, learning how to make accessories, all those things that you have been learning behind the scenes. These are things that you can turn into an online product and you can sell it. All right. But the problem is that many times we take our gifts for granted. We take our skills for granted. We take our expertise for granted. You say, oh, this thing is easy now. Anybody can do it. That's what you think. And I used to think that way too. I used to think that, oh, this thing I'm doing, anybody can do it. But guess what? I've been able to run a successful business by teaching people what I know how to do. So you would think that, oh, but there's YouTube, there's Google, there's this one, there's that one. Look, even if there's YouTube and there's Google and there's all those other things, people still want somebody that can teach them. Still, come and still show me how you did it. Come and show me. What should I do here? What should I do there? How do I go about it? And many times they want somebody that they can ask a question. So if they are doing it and they get stuck, you want to be able to reach out to a human being to say, please, I got stuck in this thing. What should I do here? You know, so if there's something that you know and you want to now run a business online, please, 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 if there's anything you take out of this session today, it is that you can run a business teaching this thing. I have clients who teach who run a business teaching parents how to stop shouting. Can you imagine? Like, there's so many topics, so many exciting topics. Some people teach people how to design graphics. Some people teach people how to write a book, how to, all sorts of topics. And these are things that you know how to do, but you've taken it for granted. Any topic that you know how to do, you can teach it. You can teach it online. That's number one. Number two, when you've now identified the topic that you want to teach, you now have to start building your own tribe, building your own community. Because here's the thing, people buy from people. Okay, so if you are online and you want to run a business, people want to see who they're going to buy from. Like, if people are going to give you money for them, online, they have to be sure that you're not a scam or you're not 419, you're not, somebody's going to run with their money. So you have to present yourself like a professional, like an expert in the topic, and then start giving free training, So you should know the topic so well that you can give free training on it, and it won't matter. So start giving free training, start talking about the topic that you want to be known for. And what this does is that it positions you as an expert. It makes people to come to you when they have that particular problem. They keep coming to you over and over again. So this is the second part. You'll be building your followership. So you might even have a different page. One is for your friends and family, and that's why people laugh and play. Another one is the business page, where you're growing a community of people and you're giving them content. You're answering their questions. You are helping them. The more you help people for free, guess what? They'll keep coming back. They'll keep coming back. And when they come back, you can then offer them a product, because they'll start saying, okay, you taught me this one, and I want that one. You taught me this, and I want that. Okay, so when they come for that, then you can now have a product. So you should not also, the third thing you should now have is products. Okay, because no matter how much free content you have, if you don't have a product, which is like a step-by-step guide that people can follow to get a particular result, that you will not make any money online. You'll just be doing free things. You won't be able to monetize it. All right. So a lot of people make this mistake. They come online, start giving free content, every day free, every day free, every day free. You make a free video, free this one, free that one, free this. Here's what happens after a while. You get tired. You get tired because there's no money to fuel the free. So for example, all those live streams you'll be doing, you have to buy data. All those, sometimes there's no lights, you have to buy money for your generator. Yeah. So when the cost starts coming in, you see that this thing is actually a business. And so you should have certain products. Now, there are different kinds of products you can create. You can create a coaching program, you can create an online course, you can create a book, you can create, you can sell digital templates. There are all sorts of products you can create. I specifically focus on online courses, but it's not the only thing you can sell online. There are many other things you can sell online, but you have to have something that you are selling, all right? So that there's a way that money comes into your business. And for every product you want to create, this is the foundation of every product. Your product must be helping people achieve a particular result. You must always be helping people achieve a particular result. It is that result that will make them pay you. It's that result that will make people say, okay, I'm going to invest in this training program, even though I don't know, I've never met her before, I've never met him before, even though he doesn't live in my city, even though I only just see him online every day. But it is that result that people want to be able to achieve that will help them that will make them pay. Now, the first time you're trying this out, of course, if you're a beginner, you will not have plenty customers. But the first time, you will have a few customers. Those few customers you have, nurture them, help them to get results so that you can have testimonials. The more testimonials you have, the more your brand grows and the more you're able to make more money in the business. So it is a long game. It's not a it's not overnight money drop. They say it's like how you just make money. Why? It's not like that, because there are levels to it. The money I was making in my first year is not the money I was making in my seventh year. It's far. But the reason why I can earn what I earn today is because of momentum. So when you consistently help people to get results, what will happen is that you build a brand, and then people start telling people about you. And then, everybody starts, coming to you because they now know you as the expert in this particular topic. So what I always say is that start today, start small, remain consistent, and just focus on helping people get results, and you will build a successful online business. Thank you so much.
Wow, if we were in a physical audience, I'll be clapping. I was expecting an explosive session today, but what we are getting is even more than that. I know it's not yet time for questions, but there's one that I wanted to ask you immediately. I read somewhere, Stephanie, that this thing that you're talking about, you're making millions out of it.
Me?
Yes.
Of course.
That the money we're not talking about here is thousands, is millions.
Oh, of course. Of course. I don't know. I do not know if I could share my numbers here, but if people like, the reason why I was just screaming that knowledge is the new gold is that I was making so much money from this thing, and I just kept saying, why are people not doing it? I mean, it's like you don't know. It's like people don't know that, you can actually make a lot of money. A lot. And sometimes I share my figures, but it's not to brag or to, put people down or to make people like, look at what I'm doing. But just to show people that this thing we're doing, we're not playing, like it's not play. It's actually a serious business. I used to work in a multinational company. I left the multinational company to come and focus on this thing. And it's not a joke. And I can give you some of the numbers that I've been able to do. I have one particular course. I have one course. That course, when I launched it in 2016, that one course earned about $9,000. I launched that same course again in 2017. It earned about $22,000. I launched it in 2018. It earned $77,000. I launched it again in 2019. It earned $162,000. I'm still launching that same course in 2020. By the end of 2020, I will let you know how much the course has made. COVID-19, no COVID-19. All right. And this is the power. And this is the power of picking a topic that you're good at, growing your audience, helping people get results, remaining consistent. What happens is that momentum builds. it builds and it would just keep growing. Like, and when I was discovering this thing, I was amazed at it. But guess what? There are people who have been making money from this business since. Like in other countries where they have more internet, like they have internet penetration is higher, and you know people are learning online. If you hear what they're actually earning, this my own is even small chingum, like compared to the potential, what's actually happening out there. And Africa has been caught out of it for many reasons. Number one, we didn't have things like PayPal, you know, or to easily accept payments online. And so all those things stifled our growth. But now there's Paystack, there's Rave, there's then the financial services aspect has come up. So we now have ways that people can send us money online. So it's easier now. When I was starting out in those days, there was no platform you could use to easily create and sell your online course. So if you wanted to do this thing, you had to be a techie. You had to have money to hire a developer. Today, there are easy to use tech platforms that you can just, you know, you don't have to be a techie person. Just create your account on the platform and boom, you're good to go. So for example, that's why I went and built Train Quarters. Train Quarters is a platform that people can use to easily set up their online courses so that you don't have to be a techie to be able to start. You know, and the barriers that used to stop people before, they are brought down now. So they're bringing it down. So anybody can start, and the earlier you start, the better, because it's a case of you know, building a brand and growing your audience. So the earlier you start that journey, the better, because there's wealth to be built. Yeah. There's wealth to be built.
No, thank you so very much, Stephanie. Stephanie will take questions when we take the other presentations, but I think a few things from what she has shared with us already. One of the most important things is that knowledge is the new gold. So we always think maybe we need to manufacture something or build something before we can make any money, but the fact that you know something is valuable in itself. And even knowing that you can use your knowledge to make money is just as important, right? She said that we take our gift for granted. And I think that is really true. The fact that you have a gift, either because of something that you learned or from your adversity, that gift is given to you for a reason, and you shouldn't take it for granted. You should use the opportunity to use it to grow. We then also, she shared with us that, I mean, you can start from free. I mean, there are a lot of people that do free, but really you only make money by the time you convert what you are doing into products. And those products is basically helping your people to achieve a result. They must be able to take the training or the knowledge that you have shared with them and use it to achieve something tangible. And based on that, they will then come back and tell other people about you to promote your business. She also said that, and I think this is the same in any business, if you have a customer, you need to take care of them. You need to continue to support them, you need to help them, and you need to help nurture them so that they can also get results and talk about you. But the last one she talked about, and this is a message that I think is just as important as any of the other ones, is that it is not overnight money. Yeah. It can be real money, but it is not overnight. You have to work hard at it, and you have to take it step by step and build it. And you can get to a point where your customers are paying you in dollars. And know that it's not Nigerian customers that are paying her in dollars. Because she has taken advantage of using online and social media, she's able to reach customers that are far, far, far away from Nigeria. Stephanie, thank you very much. I think now we can go on to our second speaker. Stephanie is still here. We will ask questions later, so I know many of you are already typing questions in the chat room. If you also know your friend who is not here and the person is missing, please send them the link now. We will still accept them. It's not online business in a very different way, right? And I think it will expand or broaden. It will expand or broaden your knowledge on how to use social media to make money or use online to make money. So Zuaira, please let me hand over to you if you're ready.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Thank you for the invite. My name is Zuera, just in case you were not here when we were introduced. Zuera Ikara Schweib. I'm the founder, Amal Botanicals Natural Based Skincare Solutions. And my brand, Amal Botanicals, has been in business for 4 years now. Should I say, it's so funny how we started. Let me start by saying how we started. It's not as if I really knew what I was going into when we started. And before we start, I would just like to share that social media is a powerful tool, honestly. Once you have a solution and use social media in the proper way, you'll be amazed at how the brand will go. First of all, I still have my day job. I still work, you know. And social media, it's something that the whole world is on social media, honestly. The whole world is there. Once you can get their attention to anything, I mean anything you sell, once you can get their attention, offer value and give solutions, honestly, they'll come running to you with their own money to get you to get them to buy what you offer. I started my brand from home, selling natural baby care products. After the birth of my triplets, we did a research. We noticed there was no Nigerian or African brand making natural baby care products. And these are ingredients found here in Africa. You know, even most of these big multinational brands selling cosmetics, they use a chunk of these ingredients gotten from Africa here, even internationally. They use all of these ingredients found here. The proportion with which they even use it in their own cosmetics is not compared to, you know, how a natural baby care brand would want to use it. And we did our research, and that was how we started, jokingly, from home. I didn't even know any direction of how to go about it. I didn't have any clue, but we just started. And as we started, we expanded. We're in more than 30 stores nationwide. Our products are sold in UK, US, Ghana, and all African stores. Our website is a commercial one. You can shop from anywhere and, you know, get products delivered to your doorstep. So the essence I'm saying this is social media is actually a powerful tool. And like I said before, the whole world is on social media. Once you can get their attention and gain their trust in you or what you have to offer, they'll come running to you. And if you have any idea at all, just put it out there. Put it out there and let the world even know the ideas you have and even master your craft and know how to even present it properly well. And before you know it, you'll be counting in millions. And like I said, our products are sold nationwide, and they all found us from this social media. They found us from social media, and that was how we grew. We have our first flagship store, which is in Ikoyi, Lagos. And, you know, it all started from social media. And I still have my day job. And I'm able to do that because I have a structure in place to ensure that all activities are well put in place, whether I'm there or not. So like I keep saying, social media is really a powerful tool. The world is there. Once you have a solution, just put it out there and, you know, the world will come begging to you what you have to offer. So I don't know if you're getting me.
Yes, we
Okay.
are, absolutely.
Okay. So once you have your idea, put it out there, just start. Clarity gets clearer in the doing. You never can tell, no matter how little you think you know or you have, just start. A lot of people are looking for ease of doing everything, even in their lives, in their homes. A lot of people are looking for ease, are looking for shortcuts to do things. You'll just be surprised. You may think that what you know is just a little. Honestly, it's not a little compared to what other people are looking for ease of doing. And I've been able to grow a successful brand with the help of social media too.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I may have pronounced your name wrongly. Please correct me so I can pronounce it correctly.
Zuwaira. Zuwaira Shuaib. Yeah.
And I used to know how to read Arabic in those days. Never could get it correct. Okay. No, so I think let me just bring out some of the most important things that you've shared, right? Which is really powerful. I think the first one is everything that you're doing with Ama Botanicals came from your own personal need, right? You had your triplet, you had an opportunity, you basically had to take care of them. And I'm sure you're wondering, why do I have to buy Johnson and Johnson's? Maybe from your experience, you had used something that your grandmother had taught your mother and you had then used, and you're wondering, why don't we have a product like that? I think that message is really important because many of us solve problems or see problems that we face, but we don't realize that that solution that we have found is actually something that you can use to create wealth. And once you take that, which was the second thing you said, no matter how small that thing is, if you can bring it onto social media, the audience that is able to do to use that your solution can be from anywhere in the world, and the scale of what you can achieve then becomes really, really big. The other thing that you said, which I really liked, and I think this will work for those of us who are working, is that you can continue doing your work. Some of us are afraid of quitting our job. It's not all of us that have the courage of Stephanie to resign from multinational to go and, but you can be doing this work and you can be doing that business online on social media and still making a successful business out of it. And I think that's really important. Then there's a quote, and I'm going to take it and put it on my social media feed now. You said clarity gets clearer in the doing. You know, many of us say we can't start because we don't understand everything. We don't know whether this is going to work or not work. We don't know whether customers will or not. We don't know everything from the beginning, right? But what you said, and I think is really, really important, is that you have to start. And as you do it, things will become clearer. And as they become clearer, you also become better. And as you become better, you implement that into your solution and your product itself becomes better. So thank you very much. I can see some comments already for you. We will take questions at the end of all the presentations. But there's something that both Stephanie and Zoera have spoken about, and it's about brand. And I think our next speaker is probably the best person to talk to you about brand. Shadi, I will not take any of your thunder. Please let me hand over to you.
Please don't overhype me before people. All right, thank you so much for having me on here. And I'm not even sure how I can follow what Stephanie and Zuera have said, but I'll try. So I don't have quite a dramatic story just because after all of my education, I started my first job here in Atlanta. So just to give you context, I did grow up in Lagos. So I mean, I only left there like 5 years ago. So I'm very, very, very Nigerian. I know I don't look like it, but I promise you I am. But I think the main thing that, you know, he mentioned brands, Stephanie and Zuera have also talked about that. And I think that one thing that I've learned over the years, not only with the education, but with the companies that I've worked for, and one of them that I worked for the longest was a global Christian ministry, and it's run like a business, it's run like a corporate organization. And I thought that it was so fascinating that we're asking people, not directly, but people were giving their money to us without us giving them, like, they're not buying anything necessarily, they were just donating. I mean, I'm talking millions of dollars that they were donating. And it was like, okay, wait, there's something here. So I started reverse engineering our entire process because there's a staff of 200 people. So I didn't really know everything that happened on the back end. So I made it a point of duty to actually go learn, like, how are these people thinking that they're donating their wills, they're donating their real estate, they're donating millions of dollars every year, And then that's when my eyes were opened. And I would say the number one thing that everyone needs to know about building a brand online is relationship. Like, when I say relationship, I'm saying being very authentic, being very intentional about how you're talking to people, because no one wants to be spoken at. People want to be communicated with. So if you are, whether you have 500 followers or you have 5,000 or 500,000, we can't get to a point where we become complacent with how we treat our audience. We need to always be intentional. We need to always make sure that we are taking the time to communicate with them. We need to leave the lines of communication open. So if you have 500,000 followers, and I mean, that's huge anyway, but let me even just say 5,000, because that's even like easier to attain. If you have 5,000 followers and 10% of them are reaching out to you maybe every day, if you don't, I mean, at that point, you need to be able to have, even if it's an assistant that can respond to comments, that can respond to DMs, that can do all those things, because at the end of the day, that's what makes people feel welcome. And like Steph said, people buy from people. They don't buy from brands. They don't buy from a logo. They don't buy from a building or an organization. They buy from people. So I just wanted to kind of preface all of that, because I wanted to just quickly talk about the customer journey and how social media comes in and how we can actually use it in a way that's meaningful to the people that are coming to us. So I don't know how many of you are already familiar with the 5 stages in the customer journey. The first one is the awareness stage. This is when the customer is just learning about the problems that they have. And this is where you are communicating that, whether it's on your social media page or your email or wherever, you're communicating the problem that the customer may not even know that they have already. So in Zoera's case, I love that you mentioned that organic skincare, because I'm really into natural wellness. And I didn't know I needed to use natural products until a brand made me aware that, oh, these toxic chemicals are causing cancer and all sorts of diseases. And so that's the awareness stage. And so from there, I'm like, oh, okay, so now I move to the consideration stage, which is me wanting to figure out what products are out there that benefit me, like within my price range, within my location, within my specific needs and concerns. And then I move into the acquisition stage where I'm ready to buy. And so what I'm looking for at this stage is customer testimonials. I'm looking for all those reviews. I'm looking for ingredients. I'm looking for those specific problems that these brands are going to solve for me. And then after that is service and loyalty, which those are like post-acquisition, which brands can use to keep people coming back for more, where that customer service really comes in and trying to make sure that they become lifelong buyers or fans of your brand. And social media, I believe, can come across all of these touch points. So throughout the journey, you can use your social media content to guide your customers in every stage of this journey, which is why, again, back to a lot of people, Stephanie and Zoera have said this, like, you need to plan this stuff. Like, you need to literally think about what it is you're saying and be intentional. You can't just go up on social media and just post stuff. First of all, that's a great way to waste your time, because I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but sometimes I go on social media, like before I started really planning my content a while ago, I'll go on social media, I'm like, oh, let me post something today. 2 hours later, I'm still scrolling and looking at what every other person is posting. I still haven't posted anything. And by the time I'm done, I'm exhausted. What I'm posting doesn't even now make sense, and it's just not intentional. So I want to just talk about 3 types of content that we need to have on our social media page at every point in time, because I believe that this is a great way for you to be intentional, especially if you're someone like Zoera who has a full-time job and you're doing this on the side. You don't have 4 hours a day to spend on social media. Nobody should even be spending that amount of time. But the way the algorithm works right now, they want to keep you on there, but we all know that's not healthy. It's not sustainable. We actually have a business to run, and that business is not on social media. It's just a tool that helps us move our business forward. So the first type of content you want to have on your social media at all times is content that grows your audience. So this is in the sales and marketing world, we call this lead generation. We call this just brand awareness, right? So a great thing that I do, and a lot of brands do, I'm sure Steph and Dora have experience with this, is just run Facebook ads, sponsor those posts that are doing well. You need to test and see what resonates with your audience, because when you're curating, when you're generating and growing your audience, you're getting that very niche audience, those people that actually want to hear what you have to say. So please don't go by an audience. If someone is telling you a list of 10,000 followers, 1,000 followers, don't click on that stuff. It's a spam, and you will just end up worse than, eventually your account will be shut down, trust me. So please don't buy an audience. Don't take over somebody else's social media page just because they sold it to you and they had 10,000 followers. If these people that are following you do not want your content, they're not going to engage with it, and Instagram is going to penalize you, or Facebook, or whichever platform you're using. So you want to always keep growing your audience, and one way to do this, like Steph said, is free. People like free stuff, like they love freebies. So whatever it is that you can create, if you're creating a product like Zoera, you can offer a discount, right? And that discount could be something that people love free stuff. So if you say, oh, free shipping, or let's say 5,000 naira off of your entire purchase, like they will go and they'll be interested. So whatever it is, whether it's a digital product, a tech checklist, to-do list, whatever it is, you can create something, you can put something together, you can always offer something, because again, it's about relationship. It's give and take. So you give them something, they give you something in return. So that's the first one. The second one is content that builds your brand. And this is important because you want to build brand loyalty. At the end of the day, like I said, building a brand has to do with creating those authentic relationships with your customers. And one thing I want to note about growing your audience is you don't only want to grow your audience with social media. You actually want to try and take them off of social media. And I know this is about social media, but this is a great way to use it, because number one, social media is very volatile. It could be gone tomorrow. If for some reason Facebook ends up getting sued, and that's very likely right now, all your Instagram audience is gone. Your Facebook groups, they're gone. Like if they go, so you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So as you grow your audience, you want to try to get their email or their phone number, get them in a WhatsApp group, or just have the phone, like just have that information somewhere, because anything can change tomorrow. So as you build your brand, you want to tell your story. You want to, each of us have that secret sauce that we can give people. Each of us have that unique story that we can share with the world, and people want to hear. But ultimately, building that brand is not about your product. It's not about your service. It's not about you. It is about how you can serve your audience. You want to always talk about that. Like Steph had also mentioned before, giving them that thing that's free, sharing that information. Of course, you don't want to be free the whole time, but if you give if 4 out of 5 times you're offering valuable content, the 5th time, if you ask them for money, they most likely will give it, versus the person that goes on social media and is like, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. It's like, why should I buy from you? What is in it for me? Do you have a discount? Do you have free shipping for me? Do I even know that this $300 course is going to work for me? Do I know what you're about? No. So you want to build that brand. You want to serve your audience in a very authentic and real way. And then the third thing is that content that converts. And conversion is just being able to make your audience take action. Okay, so they're not just an audience anymore. They're now customers, or they're now your fans. They are people who are actively engaging with you. So whether that's signing up for your email list, whether that's them giving you their phone number, showing up to your event, showing up for your webinar, ultimately it needs to lead to those dollar signs, because no matter how much content you're putting out, money has to come from it. Otherwise, you're just entertaining people. So, and even in entertainment world, people still make money. So somehow that money has to come out.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you need to figure it out. You need to figure out. And one thing I want to talk about conversion really quickly is there's a funnel. If you don't know about sales funnels, go read about sales funnel. Russell Brunson is a great person to research. Like, he has a lot of online books that you can read, different resources out there about sales funnels. You need to understand how people think so that you can actually learn how to convert them into buyers. Okay, so whether you have 500 people, if you have 500 followers, don't be discouraged. If you have 200, or maybe you haven't even started at all, it is important that you learn these things along the way so that when the time comes, when you've built that audience, you can learn how to truly convert them into buying customers. And I'll say this because as I worked in the big corporate companies and also learned with, studying luxury brands, some of our favorite luxury brands, whether we buy them or not, they're famous, right? We have Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. I mean, those are brands that we look at closely. I'm like, these people are making money. You hate them or love them, they're doing something right. And I started consulting small business owners, and what we found is just there's a parallel. There's something that, okay, if you go to a Louis Vuitton store and you go into H&M, there's a very, very clear difference, right? There's a level of intentionality. Like you could go clean a wristwatch at Cartier and they'll offer you, in fact, it's almost like you're in a restaurant, like the way they treat you, like they almost carry you, lift you with their hands. But then you go into a diff. So that's branding. Like, branding is not about your logos and fonts. Those things are great. Those things are awesome. It's not about which filter you're using on Instagram. It is about how you communicate with your audience, how intentional you are. And if you were to take anything from all of my rambling, is that you need to make sure that you treat your audience in the best way possible. Treat them how you would want to be treated. Don't just say, give me money and take my product in return. You need to be sure that even if they get on your social media page, which is sort of like a mini website, that they can get something out of it, even if they don't have money to buy today. Because in 6 months, you don't know who's going to be the millionaire tomorrow that's like, you know what, I want to buy 10 of your products, right? So you always want to do that. Don't just treat your paying customers with with all of that. Of course, there are some people who just want free things forever, and we will not pay those people attention, but we'll still be kind and we'll still treat them with grace. But ultimately, just being very intentional about how we treat our customers. I think that is a very, very key thing on social media, because social media there's so much going on there. So the way to really cut through the noise is to treat people the way that you want to be treated. So that's my little nugget for today. Thank you.
I like how you're being modest and you're describing it as little. No, so that was really powerful. I think I wrote 2 pages of notes, just trying to keep up with everything that you kind of touched on. But I think I'll just take a few things that I think the audience really, really need to take away, right? So a lot of us think that brand is the logo or the catchphrase, but I think one of the most important things really is you said that a brand really, the relationship that you have with your audience or your customers, right? And that basically is not only looking at what they see, but it's how you treat them, right? What you tell them, and you need to be intentional about that. So everything you post, if you have a business account on social media, what I'm hearing is everything you post, everything you communicate has to be deliberate in trying to build the way you want your customers to perceive you. And I think that's really powerful. And like you said, that's probably the difference between the big brands and the smaller brands, right? You also shared something which I thought was really important in also being intentional. You need to be mindful. And I think this is probably one of the reasons why I didn't adopt social media early. I saw it primarily as a time waster. I like that you accept that as a time waster, but it's also such a powerful tool. The trick is to know that social media can be a time waster. Therefore, you need to be intentional about when you go there, what are you planning to do? You don't end up scrolling through thousands without doing what you came there to do. So be intentional, see it as a tool. You want to use it to achieve a result, right? And then after that, you can go back and socialize. You also talked about testing, right? And I don't think we do this a lot. Testing suggests that you share something with your customers, but you also wait and get their feedback. And then you reflect on that, and then you change what you're doing based on the feedback that you have gotten. So you should test what works. What did I communicate that people liked? What did I communicate that people didn't like? And then you change what you're doing based on that, right? I like the point you make, and I know some of us are looking for shortcuts, right? In my current business, and it's a big business, we have played with the idea of going to buy audience. But what I'm hearing from you is it's much, much better to build your connect with you, not somebody else that you're connected with something else, and then you're trying to convert them to, because I mean, what I took from it is that you're going to end up trying to convert them anyway, yeah, because they didn't come into that group or that cluster because of you. So they will still have to take from there and take something else. So I think that's really, and the message there was we should try and grow organically. And I think the final point, which I really liked, is recognize that social media might be transient. You want to make your customers, take them out of social media at some point and move them into a platform where you can build a more direct relationship with them, right? Whether you get an email address or a phone number, or just getting them into some kind of WhatsApp group, it's really, really important and powerful so that you can keep your customers, even if social media doesn't help you to do that. So that's really, really powerful. Shade, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to now throw the floor open for questions. We have about 20 minutes now to take questions from the participants. If you do have questions, please type it in the chat box. I will read it out to the participants and to the speakers, and then the speakers will answer it. Yeah. So please type your questions in the chat, and we'll get the speakers to answer it. One question that I got you on WhatsApp really is for Stephanie, and the question was, how many people do you get to attend an individual training? I think the context of the question is there a maximum or minimum number of people that will engage with your training that you think it's success or failure? Because I remember you said that your very first physical one, nobody came, but online, what's the kind of size of class that you want to, as a starter, what should I be expecting?
All right, thank you for that question. So the thing with success is that success is very individualized. Everybody has different goals. So really your success is based on what your goal is. So some people come in and they just want 10. Some people come in, they want 50, some want 100. The beauty of the online space is that there's no limit. Because it's online, there's literally no limit. But the question now becomes, how many people do you want in your own program? And are you ready to do the work to attract those number of people? So if you want to, so there are many factors. So one of them is the kind of business you want to run. So you can say, hey, I want to create a mass market product that will attract hundreds and thousands of people, and my products will be low priced so that a lot of people can come in. That's one way to go. Another way is to say, I want to create a premium experience so that if people come in, they get results. So something like what Shade was explaining, like the H&M versus a more premium brand. So it depends on what kind of brand you decide to build online. That will also determine how many people you bring in to your programs. That will also determine how much you price your products. All right. So in every market, there's always the person who plays, the lowest to get tons of people, and there's another person who plays, the luxury side to give people a better experience. So you will be deciding what you want. And at the end of the day, success is your success is individual to you. So for me, the kind of brand I am, I'm very particular about people's experience online, like how people feel when they work with me, the results that they get. And because of that, I don't typically try to get in thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So I also don't, and that's why in my own business, I'm not trying to be the cheapest. I'm not trying to be the mass market brand. I'm just trying to be the person who actually, helps people to get results. And sometimes you need a sizable number that you can manage or you can maintain. Do you understand? So that's it really depends on you, what is important to you. So you choose your strategy.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a question here. Shadi, I'm going to direct this at you because it was a question that I had myself.
Okay.
And it's, so we've talked a lot about you building your own product, you building your own brand. But the question here is, can I not also use social media to help other people market their brand? I think they're typically called social media influencers or social media marketers, who what they are marketing is not their own brand, but some other brand, but because maybe they have a followership or they have a flair. So the question is, can I do that? And how do I go about it? What would be the pros and the cons?
Absolutely, and that's a great question. Ultimately, I mean, of course, the answer is yes. People are doing that, so obviously the answer is yes. But the main thing here is building your personal brand. In order for someone, and this, just imagine this, like if I came to you and I was selling you these this specific product, and you look at me like it's like me coming to sell you like socks for men, you know, like first of all, it's not even really relevant to me, so who is really going to buy that product from me? Now when it comes to influencer marketing on social media specifically, a trend that we're starting to see is, at first it was this huge thing, if anybody with more than 10,000 followers shows up and was like, buy this thing, everyone's like, yes, I'll buy it. But now people are questioning it because they're like, are you just selling this thing to me because you're going to get a commission or because someone paid you? So what you want to do is, if you're not the person who created this product, you need to make sure that first of all, you believe what you are selling to your ideal audience. Do you yourself use it? If this skincare thing or the makeup that you're trying to sell, do you use it? Do you believe in it? And then from that point, if the answer to those things are yes and yes, you can go ahead and tie it to your personal brand, how this product or service brought transformation in your life. And that's how you go ahead to sell the product, versus just buy this thing because I said so and because I have this. Because then, first of all, you wouldn't even make that much money. But if people can see if authentically you believe in the thing that you're selling, then they'll be more inclined to buy from you. But I think ultimately it needs to be true to your brand. Who are you? So I will use myself as an example. I'm a Christian, but I'm also all about efficiency. So if I sell something that is Christian based, or a tool that helps me to do my work more efficiently, I mean, that's true and authentic to me. But I'm most likely not going to come and try to sell someone something that will make their life a little more complicated. Not that anyone would ever really do that, but the point I'm making here is it needs to be true to your brand. It needs to be true to your overall story, because again, what is your secret sauce? You need to tie it back to that thing. If it is not relevant, don't bother with it, because you're wasting everyone's time. You're wasting your time, and people then they start to mistrust you. They do. People can see right through this thing. Like if you're trying to sell something that is just for the sales, like for the sake of it, I mean, who likes a salesperson? Nobody. But we all need to know how to sell, which is why, again, going back to being authentic about what it is exactly that you're doing. I would never come on here. I study luxury brand management. I don't even care how much Louis Vuitton will pay me. I probably will never sell their products online. Like, and I have my reasons for that. Okay, just because I know some of the back end things, but I would most likely support that like small business owner who is, creating her own leather in her farm and does this craftsmanship. That's my thing. It doesn't make Louis Vuitton bad. It's just I wouldn't wear it or buy their products, but I will most likely support a small business owner who's doing the exact same thing and maybe even producing better results. So again, going back to being authentic and going back to doing what is true to you. Everything is not about money. And I know that money is good. Money buys a lot of things that makes us happy, but we cannot now start selling our who we are for the sake of money. That is not how we do these things. Okay, so that's my take. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, you did. Thanks, Shadi.
Okay.
I think the next question is actually for Zuwaira, and there are two questions in one. So I'm going to I'm going to read both questions at the same time, right? So the question really is around your day job, right? You talked about the fact that you have a day job and you're still running Ama Botanicals as a really successful online business. And the question is, how do you balance it? I mean, I would even add to the question by saying you are then also a mother of triplets. So the question is, how do you balance all of that? So that's the first question. The second part of the question is, what kind of systems do you have in place for delivery? So I think it's one thing to manufacture, but how do you deliver your products to your customers?
Okay, Emma, thank you for that question. First of all, when I started, I was doing everything myself. So like I said, you need to start. I was doing everything myself for 1 good year, if not a year plus. So you need to start, and in fact, you even need to understand the process yourself before you then know people you need to, or areas you need support for. So you need to first of all go into it yourself, understand the system yourself, understand what you are even creating, understand the whole process, understand your customer experience, understand it all before you then know areas you need to now put in systems and put in structures of how to like delegate and free your time to do other things, because you are the sole manufacturer of this product. So first of all, you need to go into it yourself to understand even what you are manufacturing. So I did that for 12 months at home. So after 12 months, we moved into a physical store where I was able to employ people to come help, in the store and attend to our customers, because our customer base kept increasing month by month. They were increasing. I couldn't handle them myself. Even my staff at home couldn't handle them themselves. So I had to get a space to like accommodate more people. We had to increase our production factory and facility to accommodate more orders and produce more products to meet the standard of our customers. So putting in structure in place is very key. You have to put in structure, even for your quality control. We had a quality control team. We have a customer service team. We have the HR team. We have a delivery team. All, like I said, all were created from my own struggle to running it alone in my home. So which is why I said you need to start. And as you go on, clarity gets clearer in the doing. So as you do what you do, you begin to understand areas which you are lagging behind and areas you need to get people to help you.
Thank you. Thanks. There's a question here around failure. Yeah. Most people don't start because they fail, right? Or they're afraid of failing. So the question, I think, is if your social media business is a failure at the start, what strategies do you suggest we use to turn it around? I don't know who would like to tackle that one.
Well, I can go just because I think right now, so I only just really started building my personal brand honestly this year. Prior to that, I'm very introverted, so I don't like posting things about myself. Like I only like certain events, and then if I get a really nice photo of myself, I'm like, let me post it. But when I started consulting, I've been consulting for years and I never put anything. So I had minimal followers, they were not highly engaged, all of that. But this year, 2020, is when I literally started taking it seriously. I'm like, I'm going to build my online brand. I'm going to launch my beta course. And so I had to basically start from scratch. And one thing I would say is Instagram is great because you have a lot of numbers. I'm all for numbers. Like, look at the data, look at the insights. What is it telling you? It is always telling a story. And what we need to observe is what worked. What didn't work? So in this case, we will focus on what didn't work, right? What was it? Were you inconsistent in your posting? Because again, the algorithm is very, very tricky. You can go on there and you post and only a certain percentage of your audience will see that post at first. Instagram doesn't show it to all your followers. It shows it to, let's say the number is 5% that it shows it to at first. which is even kind of high. So if you have 1,000 followers, which if you say your social media is a failure, you probably don't have that yet. But if you have 1,000 followers and Instagram only shows it to 5%, that is a very small number. If out of that 5%, only like half of them like it or engage with it, maybe Instagram will show some more. But if most of them don't, then your post is going to be buried. So look at the insights. What do people like? Look at your most liked post, your most shared, the ones that people saved. And if the answer to that is 0, then go back. That's good. Just go back to the drawing board and start a plan. A lot of people go on social media and they don't have a content strategy. And without strategy, you fail, whether it's war, whether it's business, whether it's your personal life. You need a strategy. There's so many resources online that you can go and search for yourself. There are a lot of courses online that you can take about content strategy. You need to have content strategy. When I talk to some people I talk to about this, they'll be like, oh yes, they do it, they see the results. Then there are other people, they're like, I don't have time, I don't have this. Look, it's either you want to succeed or you don't. So, and if you want to, you sit down and you craft that strategy. So one thing that I noticed was I started with 700 followers, and those were like my friends and family and some people that followed me along the way from my church. But when I started building it, I'm not kidding, these are numbers that are real. I shared it on my social media. I saw a 500% increase within 6 weeks of consistently posting and doing those 3 things, putting out those 3 types of content that I said. 500% increase in 6 weeks. And that was with a very small budget that I was using to sponsor certain posts. All that to say, I went with a plan this time. It wasn't just, oh, I'm posting because I feel like it. I was posting relevant content. And this has been the same case with the clients that I've worked with. So when it comes to social media, just again, have a plan. Without a plan, the whole thing is going to fall to the ground. That's the truth. Then the other thing you need to think about is, if you really don't know what caused it to fail, then you need to look at what other people are doing, right? And reverse engineer their process. I'm not saying go and copy and paste, because marketing is never a copy and paste situation, but there are some strategies that work consistently. So ask if someone in your industry can help you, reach out for help. If they say, pay me for this knowledge, invest in it. You have to invest in your business, whether it's time. So whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's investing in somebody that can do it for you, outsource it if you need to. Invest. It's really not as hard as people are making it seem. Sometimes your content is just a 3-sentence thing and you screenshot it and post it there, and that's your content, right? So honestly, for a month of content, I do mine I take 6 hours a month. I literally just sit down, and within 6 hours, I've planned my entire content. I may not produce every single thing within those 6 hours, but I've created the plan. I've scheduled all the content. I'm sleeping when those things are being posted, or I'm doing something else, and I just go on social media to engage. We have 6 hours. Even if you have a full-time job, you have 6 hours in a month, in a whole month. Sometimes I do it weekly. I'll just do it maybe every Monday for 3 hours, plan on my content, schedule it out, and it posts automatically. So just have a plan, have a good strategy in place, keep testing, see what's working, and then give people more of what is working, right? If you see that they like this type of content specifically, then continue posting similar types of things, and then look at the one that's not really doing well. Oh, can I say it differently? Maybe I think that this content's really good, but then it's not really resonating with them. Maybe I should try a video instead of a slide share, or maybe I should do an Instagram live instead of whatever. You get the gist. So that would be the number one thing I would say. Just have a strategy, stick to that strategy for at least 3 months before you switch it up, because you need to see the patterns. You need to see what is working and what isn't, and then use the data. Don't guess and don't try and copy somebody else. Look at what your own specific audience is saying and doing and how they're reacting to your content. Otherwise, you might end up just being overwhelmed with what everyone else is doing, that you're actually now not doing the thing you're supposed to be doing.
Thanks, Shadin. And if all else fails, you can always go to Stephanie for training.
Exactly.
Okay, we can take one more question, but just in case you were wondering, I will put up a slide on how to contact our speakers. I know you might have follow-on questions So immediately after this, I'll put up a slide and we can take that as participants. Stephanie, I think this last question is just for you. The question is, if I develop online tutorials and I mount them on the platform, what steps do I need to take to get a good number of enrollments?
So I think that really everything that Shade has been saying is the answer to this question.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, your online course or anything you create is still a product, so just the way you would sell shoes or bags or body creams is the same way you're going to sell an online course. Like, I'm speaking broadly, that number one, you still have to grow your audience. You still have to find the people who want what you're offering. Number two, you still have to build your brand. You still have to be credible. You still have to make them see that, look, I have the solution. Number three, you have to be able to create, to write in a way that people see the reason why they should come and buy from you. Do you understand? So it's still the same big idea. When you create a product, you always still have to market it. Of course, when it comes to online courses specifically, there are things like should I even go into this? There are things like launches, which is a plan on how you are going to sell your course. Like Shade said, you still have to sit down and strategize and say, this is what I'm going to use to sell my course. So that still has to happen.
Yeah.
There's still things like funnels, and I think that you even mentioned it earlier about if you want to be able to find people online and to bring them in and to be selling to them continuously, you still have to sit down, calm down, and design a funnel. All right. So if this is something that you really, really want to do, of course, if you're a newcomer to it, there's a body of work that you need to invest in learning. And so you will find the experts that can teach you. There are books on it, there are courses on it, there are videos on it. So you start that journey to development. So, but the hope for you is that at the end of the day, there's money, all right? Well, I don't like to make it look as if it is overnight money, because there's still some work that needs to be done in learning how to create the product and learning how to sell the product. But the greater hope is that once you finish all these things, there's hope. There's hope at the end.
Okay. No.
And sorry, Akeem, if I can add something to what Stephanie has just said. For a lot of people, going back to this issue of testing, before you launch that massive big course, and I'm sure Stephanie knows this, you try a small trial size course that didn't take you 40 hours to create, right? Try a small bite-sized piece. You can either give it away for free to see the interest, or give it away at a very reduced price, sell it at a very reduced price, and see what people are saying. That way you're able to gather all that information and hear what the audience is saying before you go ahead and do a full-blown campaign, spend all your money, all of that. Like, I would just add that one thing. And most importantly, people need to learn how to run Facebook ads. Learn how to run social media advertising. You need to put that money in there, because that's how the algorithm is going to favor you. That's how you're going to get that audience that you want. Learn how to invest in ads. You don't need a lot of money. Whether it's $20 a month, we can afford it. Just don't buy those shoes. Use that money to to invest in your ads. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Okay. No, thank you. Thank you so very much. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. I get the feeling that if we could, we will continue for another hour or more. But we have run out of time. I think it's really easy to say that this has been a really, really exceptional session. I just want to say a very big thank you to all of our speakers, Stephanie, Zuwaira, Shade. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your experience with us. I want to say thank you to the audience as well. For those of you who were looking for their contacts, if you can see my screen, I've put the social media handles of our 3 speakers on the screen. You can follow them and you can reach out to them. I'm going to invite Pastor Henshaw. to say a few words and then close our session with a word of prayer. Pastor, you might be on mute.
Sorry, I forgot I had muted myself.
Yes.
First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank the speakers. The passion of women can never be matched. When they're passionate for something, they go for it, and they are very, very detailed. And I want to say a big thank you. And the charm that Akim used to call you today, if he calls you again tomorrow, please come for a part 2. Because you can see, we really want a part 2. We really appreciate this. You've really opened our eyes to a lot of things. Then as for the participants, we're going to load this on YouTube and send everybody the link. Please go over this video at least 2 times more and make this thing worthwhile. I'm even going to make myself a student and then try and learn some of these things, even if it's to expand the church only. But I'm sure I want to make money out of it as well. So let everybody take this as a learning curve. Be determined to make something out of this. This is just part of our social responsibility project that we do to take people out of poverty, to take people out of employment, and even those who are employed, to make them from one grade to a higher grade. Okay, in closing, let's just say a short word of prayer. Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for the inspiration for today. I want to thank you that everything worked out the way you planned it. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the knowledge. We thank you for the zeal. We thank you for the know-how. We thank you that even the internet played well today. Heavenly Father, we say thank you. It is by your grace. Let everybody who has listened and participated in this program, even if they came after we started, let them have the grace to go back. Go over this thing 2 or 3 times more. Make notes and improve on their knowledge so that they too will become gurus in this profession. Heavenly Father, even though those who have spoken today think that they have done well, you can make them much better in Jesus' name. If they are great, you can make them exceedingly great. So that their names will be called all over the world whenever they want to think of something in their field. Thank you, Jehovah Almighty. This work will not go to waste. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. So we'll bring the session to a close. Once again, thank you, everyone. Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, Zuera. Thanks, Shade. I really appreciate your time. All right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Yeah. Bye.